Weirdness happening. I don't understand what's going on. Welcome back to another episode of Critical Affection, where we affectionately criticize the pop culture that we love. Things are happening, and I don't know what's going on anymore. Brian was here, and now he's gone.
Yeah.
It's
It's
okay though, because we got Uncle Fish here, and so Brian
Uncle
can come
Fish
back
is
whenever
always
he figures stuff out, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, Brian will be back when Brian gets back.
He'll figure it out. He's a smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
So we are here. We're going to talk about Only Murders in the Building today. One of my favorite, I think, TV shows. Certainly one of my favorite current shows. Absolutely. And before we talk about that, I want to hear about Virgil, because
Oh man,
we've been waiting. So I'm going to pull
it's been a minute.
I'm going to pull up Green Zone here for us.
It has been a minute. This is Green Zone Life in the Blocks for anybody that's been living under a rock and has missed out on the first 3 issues. This is the campaign for issue 1 through 4. It's live. We're almost at the halfway point. Green Zone is a world where anybody could be born a mutant, and you're looked at as a supervillain waiting to happen. So it's illegal just to be who you are. I know that seems like a total fantasy that the government would pass laws to make it illegal to be who you are, but that's what this is. It's a fantasy escape from real life, and those people are taken, their rights are stripped from them, and they're put into camps to concentrate them into green zones. And they live in the blocks, which are these giant overbuilt, ghettos. And the world just forgets about you and pats themselves on the back for getting rid of all those scary monsters. And if you want to get out and make a better life for yourself, you have to prove that you're not a threat to humanity. And the only way out is to serve the greater good for 5 years. And you could join the military, you could join the fire department or sanitation. This follows a group of new recruits to the police force. And we have to see if they can survive a corrupt law enforcement system, if they can survive 5 years on the force and prove they're not a threat to humanity without accidentally getting themselves sent to prison for life for using their powers. It's a no-win situation. The humans look at them as a joke, or mall cops. The other genomes look at them as race traders. It is not an easy life. I've had a lot of people ask me, why would humans put them in a position of power as being cops? But the cops aren't looked at in this world as a position of power. The G unit specifically is not looked at as important. They're looked at as mall cops. But if you think about it, if anybody you pull over could potentially shoot fireballs out of their elbows, being a cop is not a job you want to have. So let's give it to the people that we hate the most. Let them do the worst job. And, anyway, it's a really interesting world. It's a really interesting political system, and everything's set up. It's a really crappy situation. You end up with a bunch of people like Virgil that are very poorly equipped to be cops. Giant 8-foot tall lizard monster, very scary looking. He is the kindest, sweetest dude on the face of the earth. He wouldn't hurt a fly. He just wants to get out and open a bookstore, but he can't own a business. He can't rent anything. He can't do anything without getting his green card first. He's lived his entire life alone. He's got no family, nobody to depend on. He's never worn clothes until now that he didn't fish out of a dumpster or eaten anything that he didn't pull off the ground. And then you've got other people like Brooks here that his dad got citizenship in the military. So he grew up outside of the green zone in an integrated school. He's captain of the high school football team. Everything's always gone his way, always gets straight A's. He's one of those, if I work hard enough, I can achieve, I'm going to give it 110%. Nobody's going to work harder for my success than I will. I can achieve whatever I set my mind to kind of guys. And, he just gets up and goes at it hard and expects to win at everything he does. And he gets a really rude wake-up call on their very first shift. Before they ever report for the morning meeting, some human guards hold him down and cut his horns off because they're harassing him, saying that, he doesn't meet uniform requirements and he can't wear his hat. And he's trying to explain to them that, like, he was told there's exceptions for things like this. They're like, oh, the rules don't apply to you. And they just take him off and mutilate this dude for the rest of his life, because those are horns, not antlers. So they're never going to grow back. That is now what he looks like for the rest of his freaking life without them, because some guys wanted to bully him. And, it's not a good start to their first shift on the Green Zone. And issue 4 rounds out the end of their first shift. The first 4 issues have been going through their first shift. Halfway through their first shift, Bellamy here and her training officer, Corporal Waters, they nearly get killed by the cops for reporting to a crime, and a human, starts saying that they're attacking her. And when the human cops show up, they nearly get shot for, being genomes. Halfway through the shift, the police station gets blown up. The whole issue 3 is them trying to pull people out of the wreckage of it, and now issue 4 is mostly taking place in the hospital in the aftermath, and we get to see how badly everybody was injured, who survives, who dies, all of that stuff. By the end of the 3rd issue, Corporal Waters, Bellamy's training officer, is laying on the ground. She could be dead from an infection because she grabbed Bellamy's arm at one point and got stuck by those quills. And a few hours later, she's on the ground, hand all swole up. It's nasty. Mm-hmm. It's a heck of a book.
I mean, just want Virgil to be happy. He's such a nice guy.
He's so sweet. He's so kind. He has such a hard road. Everything goes so bad for him. He gets his first felony charge right there at 5 years old in those pages. But I will tell you, in issue 4, there are some things that happen. He meets somebody that is going to be a positive influence in his life, and I was literally weeping when I was doing these pages. I was crying as I was penciling and inking those pages because it was so emotional seeing somebody come into Virgil's life and be kind to him for the first time ever, really, and like, it's a really, really, really interesting reason to me. I don't want to give it away. It's in issue 3, but the driving force reason that Virgil keeps going back and forth, risking his life in the fire, is to just get an answer from a question from Danny as to why he did this one thing. And I don't want to give too much away because I probably already given the whole thing away, but it just shows how little kindness this dude's been shown in his life. And it didn't take much kindness for him to risk his life like a dozen times to, try and get an answer to that question of why did you do that for me?
It's just poor Virgil. Poor Virgil.
Yeah, life's hard for Virgil. But, it's important to me that the story be as realistic as it can be with an 8-foot lizard in it. And, some people just can't win for losing. And some people, no matter how hard you try, and no matter how hard you do everything the right way, everybody's still out to get you, or still sees you as the bad guy, sees you as the villain, or, you get all the flesh burned off your back trying to save somebody's life, or you're looked at the bad guy because you live in the same ghetto that the gang that blew up the police station works out of. So you must be on their team. You must be part of it. Isn't it awful convenient that was his first day and it got blown up and he gets to play the hero? Forget the fact that he burned half the flesh off his body. Surely it was all for show. There's lots of awesome tiers on this campaign. You can build your own tier for $5, which is just to pay for the shipping for the box. And then you can put whatever you want in there out of the add-ons. There is digital, there's physical, there's lots of cool add-ons, stuff from all the campaigns. All the books that I've worked on are available as add-ons. There's also a delayed shipping add-on that I really like. I incorporated it from some friends' campaigns that I saw it on. And if you're one of our regular backers and you back all the time, or specifically if you're one of our backers from like Singapore or Australia or India or the UK, you can order a physical copy and then for $1 put this add-on on there. And once I get paid from Kickstarter, I will refund your shipping costs that you paid this time, and I'll hold your package until the next campaign and ship it with the next campaign. Or you can delay shipping again next time, and I'll put it with the next campaign. For like, for some of the folks that back every campaign and buy every copy of everything we do, but they live overseas, that's really freaking expensive when it costs like $35 just to send one book to Singapore or to send 3 pounds worth of books to Singapore. It's the same cost. So, you might as well just delay that. I'll hold on to it for you and ship it out with the rest of the stuff later on when it makes more financial sense to ship it on.
That's a really good idea. I
absolutely stole that.
On that offer.
I absolutely stole that from one of the Johns that did it. I think John Westhoff, maybe.
Yeah.
But I've heard of other people doing it.
There's so many of them.
There are.
There really are.
But I've heard of other people doing it. I didn't know how they did it until I saw it on one of his campaigns that I backed, and I saw the reward and how he had it laid out. And I was like, oh, that's easy. I could do that.
That's a good idea. It's a very good idea. I have to assume that it'll be, because we all have at least one or two overseas backers. So,
and like Katie wants to buy all the books, but it's ridiculously expensive to ship stuff to the UK, especially for just one floppy comic, and then you can't do that.
She lives
every time
in Narnia. She lives
way
out, and it costs.
I mean, you not only have to go through the postal system, but then you have to go through that whole beaver postal system where they go through the rotten trees and they come out in the little fairyland. It's a whole thing.
Exactly.
It's way too much. Better to ship one big package once a year or something.
Exactly.
Like Santa.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. That's why Santa does it that way.
It's just more economical.
Good point.
Oh yeah, the tariffs are ridiculous. If you hit everybody's birthday, forget about that. It's too much all year long.
So you got a Mr. Fish comic library. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, 15 books now that I've done on my own. I'm working on 109 right now, books that I've worked on in 6 years.
Granica was one of those.
Yep. Whoops.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, so let's go. I'm gonna go back. Let's see, I'm sure we didn't get you a pledge yet, but
not yet. But hopefully, we'll see.
The problem with my show is that people come and watch it later.
Yeah, but you can still go back it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And to go back it, it's Go Mr. Fish, right?
Yep, GoMrFish.com will take you right there. Or go to Kickstarter and type in Green Zone, one word, and it'll pull it right up. I always have to do stuff difficult and do it different. But making it one word makes it stand out and makes it easier to find in the search engine. Once you get to that Z, it pops up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole lot of green things on Kickstarter.
Really? I never even...
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Okay, there. Now we got a ticker down there for everybody. So
there we go.
Gonna be playing through the entire episode now, the entire rest of the episode, because now we're going to talk about Only Murders in the Building.
Bum, bum, bum.
So, it's 4 seasons long, and, okay, so we got Steve Martin, Martin Short, Selena Gomez, and then a smattering of, like, Oscar winners. Like, there's Oscar winners in there. There's like, big names that just show up. And A lot of them, actually. So, very, and I was saying before, one of my favorite shows, certainly one of my favorite current shows, and I think we all really enjoyed it here. So, do we have any opening thoughts about, like, any opening thoughts about Only Murders?
Oddly, I expected to love the show itself more than I did. I like the show. I love Martin Short. I love Steve Martin. I have come to love Selena Gomez through this. I love them, and I love seeing them interact. This show I could take or leave, honestly. I just like watching them. And so it was a weird revelation I came to somewhere around, the end of season 2 or something. I was like, I like them more.
Mm-hmm.
As a show, I really like it. It's the combination of all those actors really checks a lot of boxes for me.
It's an unlikely pairing, but trio, an unlikely trio. I mean, not Steve Martin and Martin Short; they've been together in other stuff, but to add Selena Gomez, really, like, it shouldn't work, but it does.
Yeah,
well, and that makes it fun and lets them play off of the old people and the young girl, and then when it starts to get into, like, she's not even as young as she was, and that was even funnier to me. But it's a great combination. She holds her own with them pretty well, surprisingly, because they've been honing this skill for a long time.
Yeah. She and I would, if I were her, I would be intimidated, or at least I would have been intimidated against the great Martin Short and Steve Martin. Like, they've been in so much stuff. They've been around for so long. Intimidated.
Oh yeah.
Maybe
they've been
not
doing
so
this
much
professionally
because he's
much
so
longer than she's been alive.
Oh yeah.
Well, it just, their styles are so, they don't clash, but they're so different. Like, physical humor, kind of witty humor, and then when it really struck me when they started having Meryl Streep on the show, and because she's an incredible actor, just outstanding, and the way my mom described it is the other two are clowns. The Martins are clowns, and I think she used it in a slightly derogatory way, but next to Meryl Streep, like, they're clowning, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but it is almost hard to see them together because she just acts circles around.
She had a blast in that. Like, when she was in that show, she had a blast. Like, they all do. We have I mean, there's a lot of unexpected stars. I mean, obviously we have Meryl Streep, and then we have Paul Rudd. We have, like, Cara Delevingne's there. Tina Fey was in there. Amy Schumer. I don't really care for Amy Schumer, if I'm honest. But she, like, and I didn't care for her addition. I don't think she added anything useful to the show, but she was there. Sting was there. How many people have lived in that stupid fucking penthouse? There's been Sting. I think Sting was the first season, and Amy Schumer was the second season.
Sounds right.
Was it Ben? Paul Rudd's character Ben that lived in there in the third season.
Well, man, as packed as New York is, I guess you would have to have some famous people in just about any building you lived in, if you didn't, like, live in the slums in New York.
Yeah, they live in a pretty swanky building.
Yeah, ridiculously
so anyway.
But they have Charles, and he is technically, it's not his heyday. He's past his prime now, but Charles, and then, like, Oliver claimed he's so wrapped up in, I'm a famous Broadway producer. Well, you're really not, but he sure plays the part.
Mm-hmm. He's still trying to be.
Yeah, and that I don't buy that they changed that from that play in season 3 from murder mystery to a musical. I don't buy that it made it better, but it was more fun to watch that way for sure.
Yeah.
But
it absolutely made it more interesting and gave them something that gave them an easy thing to have to fool with in the background, like a easy little, like, C storyline of them trying to get these songs together and stuff to give some drama and stuff. So it makes sense in that way. it doesn't make sense in a realistic way that you would just up and do that. Though, for as over the top as they've made Oliver Putman in this show, like, I guess it makes sense because you got to keep upping it each time. Like, if he's been real outlandish before, you got to go a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, and and when you're talking about stuff he's done in the past, like Splash the musical, like, you got to go bigger than that. So what are you gonna do?
The show's main tenet is forced in accompaniment. What am I trying to say? People are being forced together who wouldn't normally be together.
Right,
Mhm.
exactly.
And
yeah.
so we have to have this musical, like, it tracks.
Yeah.
And it is very, like, it is on brand for Oliver too.
Oh, yeah.
He just gets more, like, he talks about, like, he first of all, he doesn't seem to understand his own mortality, because Charles is like, woe is me, I'm gonna die soon, and Oliver's like, I'm in my prime, and, like, they're both basically the
I'm
same
eating
age.
dip for a living, and I'm in my prime. Yeah.
Yes, and in season 4, he literally has, like, 2 heart attacks, and the doctor is like, you cannot eat dip anymore, and he still insists that he's a young buck.
Yeah.
It's not that anybody wants to remind him that he's going to die sooner rather than later, but, like, dial it down just a little bit with the dips at least. Imagine only eating dips. There'd be diarrhea all the time, right?
Got to keep them regular. I mean,
It would
Body
be
might
either
adjust
diarrhea
to
or
it.
constipation. There would be no healthy food.
well, you mix that with those protein shakes or whatever that he has in his
the gut
fridge
milk.
all the time, which
That's the gut milk
probably
still
have
around.
probably have drywall and stuff in them. Like, those things are so unregulated.
It literally said it's 8% alcohol or something. In the first season, they said it's alcohol's in
That's
it.
right.
Which, what? What kind of an energy drink is that? What kind of a power shake is that? What? Ah!
I mean, there are mixed drinks that use Red Bull, isn't there?
Oh,
Sure,
yeah.
but they're not, like, all pre-mixed
Off
and
the
then
shelf.
advertised as such, yeah.
Well, they did, though. They did. What was that? I don't remember what it was called. Four Loko or something. Like, it was an alcoholic energy drink that they had for a while. I don't know if they still got it or not. I quit drinking way too long ago to know. But I remember that they did it because I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, that does ring a bell, but yeah, I don't drink either, so...
Same.
And I do date somebody who drinks, but he's he's got his craft brewery shit, and he does not have time for anything that comes in a can that doesn't have a fancy label on it, So, although it could be argued that the Four Loko is got a fancy label, I don't know. If anybody's watching, tell us if you've had some Four Loko and explain if it's good or what it tastes like. I'm curious. So yeah, so first season, I think. So do we come into the show with somebody having already died? I do believe that. Oh no, we meet him.
It certainly kicks things off.
Yeah, we briefly meet, I think actually with everyone, the very first episode, we briefly meet the victim and then they die. With the exception of season 4 and poor Saz.
Oh.
So, but the first episode, we don't actually even, we find out who the guy that dies is, and we don't, you learn that you don't even really like the guy. Most people did not like him. And at the end of the season, I don't think that I really had any strong feelings for him. I was like, he's kind of a dick, and only Mabel really seems to have liked him.
It makes sense to start with a kind of out of the way character.
Well,
Mhm.
This is something that I noticed that they did in season. Well, I guess they kind of did it in season 4, but in season 2, they let us get to know each character differently. Like season 1, they go through all the trouble because Bunny, the building manager, ends up being the victim in season 2, and we learn to very much dislike her throughout the entirety of season 1, only to learn her backstory in season 2 after she's dead and go, aww. No, I
Yeah,
feel bad.
nobody really gets to that point. Like, nobody starts out that way. You know, everybody
Right.
gets there by things happening and reacting to things that have happened. And which helps me have grace for people because,
Mhm.
you know, I know not every bottle breaks the same way when it goes through pressure. And, you know, some get completely shattered, some turn into weapons, you know, and some break perfectly on line, turn into a cup or a glass, but, you know, that's rare. And so it gives me grace when I see people that are really nasty, and I'm like, yeah, something happened there.
Yeah.
You're a more patient person than I am.
It helps. The more you go through, the more patient it makes you.
I think that the only victim that I end up disliking through after we get to know them after their death is Tim Kono, the guy who dies in the first season. Like, we don't know him beforehand. Like, we knew Bunny beforehand, we knew Saz beforehand, but we did not know Tim at all, because obviously first season, why would we know him? And then we learn about him, and we learn that he was kind of a nice guy, but mostly an unpleasant guy, and that nobody really is gonna miss him. And that is I think the saddest part about his death is that nobody's really gonna miss him.
Mm-hmm.
Just Mabel and her little that little group of friends, one of whom died. The other girl died, and so it's just Mabel and that other kid that ended up having to go to jail because if I remember right, he went to jail for being connected to the death of the girl. Their girl in the group. So
yeah, it's been a minute since I watched that season, but yeah, he went down for it if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it wasn't right, and he didn't go. I don't think he got pinned for her murder. I think it was like a negligent homicide situation. He didn't get charged with murder, whatever it was. And then in the end, we find out that is it season 1/season 2, we find out that there wasn't actually one murderer, but two. And it was Teddy Demas, right? Or is Teddy the dad? Shit. The deaf guy. What was his name? There's two characters. Anyway, Teddy was in the deaf guy, the son that was a Demas, and he was unintentionally responsible for the death of the girl, of their friend, the friend in Tim Kono and Mabel's group. She fell off the roof, and it was kind of his fault. It wasn't like it wasn't like he didn't push her or anything, but it was kind of like he was there and he was responsible for her being angry and why she was being careless. So he was kind of responsible. But
Theo Demas.
Theo.
Teddy was the dad. Yeah,
Teddy's
I got
the
the IMDb pulled up because I'm really bad with names.
Yes, thank you. And Nathan Lane. Hello, amazing. He got like 5 weeks of sign language training before this. He didn't know a lick of ASL before he did this show, and then he said he exclusively worked with the actor who played, because the actor who plays Theo is actually deaf in real life.
Thank God. I mean, there are so many disabled actors and stuff out there. It drives me nuts when they put able-bodied people in a wheelchair or
Absolutely.
spend billions of dollars to special effects out somebody's leg when we've got how many, veterans from Afghanistan and stuff that are missing limbs that would make great actors and stuff, and you wouldn't have to.
There are loads of actors in the industry already who are disabled in some way or another. Like they don't need to fake that. It's not necessary. That one episode, do you remember that? I think my very favorite episode is the one that they do from Theo's point of view, where it's just silent all the time, like the whole episode. It was very unnerving for me because we're used to hearing. I'm used to hearing, and then to hear it, to experience it from his point of view, where there's no music, there's the only thing we can hear of talking is like very faint mumbling noises, like we can't hear anything, and that is his life. So I think that was one of my favorite episodes, certainly my favorite from the first season.
Everybody around you communicating in a way that you can't take part in. is
Mhm.
terrifying.
Yes.
And you can't even try hard enough to learn it, like, because you can't hear it. Like, it's not like, well, eventually I'll learn Spanish if I sit here long enough. Like,
Yeah, you
that's
can't
never gonna
immersion
change.
therapy your way out of deafness. It just doesn't work.
Hmm.
Mabel and Theo develop a bit of a friendship, and at one point their struggles to communicate was part of the storyline too, which I thought was interesting. Her slowly learning sign language and him trying to keep up with her lip reading.
Mhm.
And interesting that he admitted to his part in the death of her friend, and yet she still forgave him and showed him grace. That was pretty cool. Like the one of the big arguments that I've seen, like the big criticisms I've seen for this show, has been the writing sucks. And I strongly disagree. I think that the people who say the writing sucks are confusing this is bad with I don't like this. They're two different things. And I think that the writing is great.
You
But
may
maybe
not
not your
like
cup of
this
tea.
style. You
Yeah.
may not like their style of comedy. You may not like this style of mystery. Like, I don't care for the style of the mystery. I get real tired of oh, here's a red herring. Oh, wait, let's chase this red herring. Oh, wait, let's chase this red herring. Because I know none of this matters until we get down to like the last 2 or 3 episodes. Like, none of this stuff in here really matters because we're just chasing our tail in the wrong direction every time.
Mhm.
I hate that. Like, that drives me nuts. But
Fish, have you
That's the
seen
style.
Death and Other Details?
no.
Don't.
Alrighty then.
Anyway.
I'm the sort of person who can, like, if I'm watching a movie or something and there's a bad guy that we have to figure out, I always figure it out way too soon, and then I either will ruin it for whoever is watching with me by saying, I think it's them, I think they're the bad guy, and like, or I'm sitting there going, I want to, I already know and I want to say it, like,
Yeah.
But this one, I'll be honest, like, Only Murders they've started to slip. Like, I figured out the murder in 3 and 4, seasons 3 and 4, much sooner than I did in 1 and 2. But in season 1, I believe that it wasn't until the very end of the second to last episode, and then I was like, oh, duh. And then it was like, if you go and look back at all the signs, like, they were all there, and they very cleverly drop little hints throughout the entire episode that you should have known the whole time. Even in the title sequence, like, there's little hints. But they got me completely. They totally got me on season 1 for sure.
See, I want to disagree with you. I'm not saying that they don't probably put hints in there that you can go back and be like, oh, okay. Like in season 4, when the writer guy is like, yeah, but that timeline doesn't make sense. Like, okay, you could say that is pointing to it, and it is, but I think it feels kind of those things feel kind of shoehorned in for me. Like, I like a show where I can watch it, and if I'm really paying attention and pay attention to all the clues, I can figure it out. I really like to figure out who the killer is, like a minute or two before they reveal who it is. Like, I like to feel like I got it right before they did, and I don't think you can genuinely do that with this. Like, it seems like they're just chasing their tails in so many different directions with all the red herrings, and then at the last minute, everything comes together with stuff that we never got any clues to before this. Like him shimmying around the ledge to beat that. How were we supposed to guess that somebody was going to do that?
I think we were supposed to know that because he briefly told us that he was a hunter with his dad or something. Like, we were supposed to know.
I thought it was because he was a
Hunted
stunt
from
person.
But
ledges
that was
of
a very
4-story
brief.
buildings.
Yeah, it was very brief. And I still, that one being, the most recent one, like, I think that one I found one of the more hard to swallow details.
Yeah,
for sure.
it just feels like it's like, look over there, look over there, look over there, look over there. Oh, wait, it's this guy. Why? because of this and this and this. That's why. And it's just
Yeah. And at what point do you think that people like they had done that angle in the second season where they were like, all right, are you just killing people in this building so that you can continue to do this podcast of yours? But so they immediately accused Mabel, if I remember right. They immediately accused Mabel of Bunny's murder. Obviously it was not her, and it was the murderer in that one was totally fucking left field, but also connected, but also just random. You know, it was so weird.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like these people dying in that building, and like not just dying, but like murders. And they ended at season 4 by murdering another beloved side character too. And I'm just, can we go back to when it was a stranger that we didn't care about, please? Like Ben Glenroy, we didn't care about him. We didn't care about Tim Kono. Come on. We can learn
It's
about it
kind
and
of
feel
like
bad
Murder,
later.
She Wrote. Like at some point, you really got to start looking at this lady. Like there's a lot of people dying around her.
Yeah.
That's really freaking suspicious.
It's not like
And
they're
she
bringing
always
Jessica.
figures out it's somebody else.
Yeah, they're not just bringing her in to solve the crime. She's already there.
Where does she live in that? Like, because it has that feel of like small town England.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
But-
like
Like if it's London
it's
or
like
something.
Stephen
there's
King.
murder.
It's like one of those small New England towns where just everybody's getting murked all the time.
I'm looking it up
Hamsborough,
now.
New England.
Cabot.
Murder capital of the
It
East.
says Cabot Cove, so I'm thinking East Coast, but it was filmed
Like,
in
I
Los
believe
Angeles, so-
London.
Here in
Or-
Murderville, we're all friendly and get along. Nobody has to lock their doors at night in Murderville.
Oh,
There
it's-
was a murder in Murderville. The devil,
Jessica
you
Fletcher
say.
lives in the
Somebody
fictional
call
town
the
Cabot Cove,
part-time
Maine.
detective.
Somebody call the little old lady that lives down my street that's in everybody's business all the time. Not the police, not the FBI, not here in Murderville. Oh no, we have our way.
We do things differently here.
We keep things in the building here. What happens in the building stays in the building.
Well, that might be the problem. Yeah, so okay, Tim Kono lived in the building, so that makes sense. Bunny lived in the building. Annoying that she was murdered. She was old and had health problems. She should have just died, but then Ben Glenroy does not live in the building, and Saz does not live in the building.
They
But she's
died.
still in the building.
The murder occurred in the
Yes,
building.
murder
I
occurs
think
in
that
the
was
building,
a.
but they don't live there. That makes it a little bit weirder that they died in that building. Like
It's so
like
much
Mabel
better.
and Charles and Oliver are staging this shit.
It's so-
early on in the writing process. They're like, okay, we're gonna do this. Like, only people who like the murdered residents of this apartment building. They're like, well, we gotta start bringing in outside people because there's a limited number of people inside. They're like, well, okay, and just
There
murders.
are a
in the
lot of
building?
people in the building though. And there's that whole other wing that they refer to
East
them as
wing.
weirdos and stuff too in the
Yeah.
season 4. They're weirdos, which that angle sort of annoyed me too. Like there's nothing inherently different about the other wings of any building. Those
It's
apartments
just
do seem to be a
different.
little bit more neglected. Like the nice apartments seem to be in the West Wing.
Always
Versus-
opening your windows and letting a breeze in.
Yeah, and they're painted shut on the East Wing, and they're smaller in the East Wing, studio style apartments, and they're and like everybody that lives in the West Wing has been there for decades and owns their apartment, whereas the East Wingers are all renters, and they're running this scheme to keep the rent down.
And they got
Yeah.
bathroom ham.
Oh, that's right, there was 2 deaths in the bathroom ham, which
I
they
love
did
that
say
detail.
it was like Himoni Berko ham or like something really ridiculously expensive.
Right.
And I don't know how I feel about bathroom ham because like on one hand, ew, but on the other hand, it's Himoni Berko, and don't you want to just try it once? Why do they keep it in the bathroom though?
That's the thing. I don't know if I'd want to try it out of their bathroom. Like,
Yeah.
how long has it been there? How many people have gone to the bathroom with that cut open ham sitting there? Yeah, no,
But that
not
was
me.
like the-
I couldn't do it.
That was the no pooping bathroom, I hope. Like, they
Like-
actually were using the other bathroom for actual, like, and you couldn't have showered in there because the ham was hanging in the
It's-
shower curtain.
Right there
Like
in the
if they
stall.
cleaned the animal there and like were butchering it in the bathtub, like
That would be
I'm a
weirder than
redneck.
just
I know
hanging.
people that have butchered deer in the bathtub before
Yeah.
in their apartment.
But
Like
in New
I
York
I
seen
City,
it happen. But like you don't just put food in there. You don't stockpile your hors d'oeuvres for a party in the bathroom and let people in there farting all over them. No, you don't do that. That's gross.
yeah.
Like the maximum extent I could see is if you filled your fridge or your tub with ice cubes and then like, hey,
Yeah.
go in there and grab something that's in a sealed can or in a sealed
Oh yeah,
bottle.
grab a can of beer or something for a party.
And then it
Yeah.
can drain and stuff. But yeah, like that's sealed items. You're not like, oh yes,
Yeah.
the hors d'oeuvres are being served upon the new.
Yeah, the bathroom ham
know why I
was
was British for
specifically
that.
to up the weird factor. I don't get it. I don't like that one. That did not strike me as funny. It was just weird. And I guess again, they were just trying to up the weird factor, make those people seem even weirder than they already seemed. So that
But I
they
mean,
could complete this east-west divide.
Was it supposed to be like a windowless room thing?
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I mean, it's not unheard of though, because I mean, if you follow SNL like I do, and you're a fan of John Hamm, as I am, you would know that John Hamm has been trying to pitch John Hamm for a long time. So you know, this is just exotic. John Hamm. So
If you say ham one more time, I get a bingo.
one more time, and Toilet Ham comes appears
Oh, there it
before.
is.
It's like Beetlejuice.
Everybody drink.
Oh man,
Ugh. Yeah, it's a thing.
I couldn't eat. I couldn't
We're
eat
way
it.
too hung up on
No,
that one
I'm-
detail.
I can't eat walking into the bathroom. Like I have to stop and finish chewing what's in my mouth before I like go in the bathroom to pee. I cannot
That's fair.
be eating in my brain in the room where
If
I
I'm
can't
like
do it.
carrying a drink and I need to grab something like a tissue out of the bathroom, I'll like do one of these. Like,
Oh yeah, I know what.
there we
If
go.
my
It's fine.
straw goes in the bathroom, I'm not putting that to my lips
Easy
again.
straw.
Like I have not drank out of a cup without a lid and a straw in a long time because of the Tourette's, and I tend to make a mess. So if my straw wafted, through that invisible barrier that is the doorway, if it goes past there, I'm not putting that to my lips again.
We know exactly where that barrier is.
Yeah,
Very sure
I
it
can't.
is.
I can't
Yeah,
do
I
it.
get it. I get it.
I know I messed up in the head, but them's the rules. That's what I got to live with.
Okay, I'm a bit of a germaphobe, but I'm there with you 100%.
Oh,
No,
a bit.
yeah. I'm a mess, but I'm not gonna. Okay. I have cats, so I have in fact eaten in the bathroom before, but like it doesn't feel good. I
Why is
don't
that
like
related?
doing it.
Well,
Just
you know,
because I
cat
have eaten in the
feces
bathroom,
causes
so
the
I like-
crazy
it
old
doesn't-
lady syndrome, which makes you eat in the
It
bathroom.
does. It does do that. Like it's crazy cat lady, yeah. But like sometimes you gotta go eat in the bathroom because that's the only way you can have peace. But even then, you're like, I am literally in the bathroom with my food, and this is bad. Everything. That's when you. That's one of those times
My
where you
life
have like.
is saved.
Yes, exactly. You have one of those dramatic realizations about the entire trajectory of your existence, and then you're just like, maybe I should have gone into my bedroom or the office or literally any other
Like eating
room.
pan of brownies over the trash can. Like, what does my life come to?
It's a thing.
I have cats, so I eat in the bathroom.
As you
I have
do.
a dog, so I only listen to AM radio.
Yep, that's it.
I have a chinchilla, so
I
naturally
didn't,
300 scarves in my closet.
hey, I didn't say it made sense. I said I did it. Now, come on.
But
You-
you
both have
set
known
up
me long enough to
one
know
as the
a lot.
cause
Yeah,
for the other.
The fact that one is the reason that I do the other.
You
You-
have cats too.
I'm
You know
left-handed,
exactly
so I
why
eat
I would eat
tennis
in the
balls.
bathroom.
Like, it just didn't make any sense.
Anybody who has a cat understands exactly why one would choose to eat behind a closed door. So
No, I would stand up and not eat in the bathroom.
I've got
Mm-mm.
like the
'Cause
one
then they
cat
go,
that
like, if
could
you
not
got them
care
in the-
less about
If
human
you
food.
got a door between you and the animals, then they can't scratch at you and pull on your clothes. Like it's more peaceful, but somehow also sadder.
It isn't.
I hope the ham is in the quiz today.
Oh,
I know if the ham is in the quiz today.
I hope it's not. I hope one of your quiz questions is not the correct spelling of Galifianakis. Because I'm screwed.
okay.
So
How
I
do we
bet
do this
Galifianakis
quiz?
doesn't even know how
Anyway.
to spell Galifianakis. What?
How do we do the quiz anyway? Because
Oh.
I, from the ground up, don't know how to do that.
Oh yeah, well I just have it's on Blookit, so you just can there's a QR code that you can scan with your phone, or you can just type in the it's like I don't remember what it is, quiz.blookit or id.blookit.com. Anyway, it's
They'll
on the
say
page there, so like you don't have to memorize it. It's on there, and you just type that in,
It's
or
on
you
what
scan the
page?
QR code, and then you enter into the and then you're in the quiz.
Is it on the
It's very easy
Facebook
to do.
page?
I can show you right now. What the hell? Maybe I can show you. I got logged out. That's why I can't show you yet. There we go.
Do we? Because I ain't seeing nothing.
It's very loud, and I have to make sure that it's muted before I show anybody. There, see? If you want to play, you just go to it's play.blookit.com. There it is.
Okay, play.blicket.com.
Yeah, and we don't necessarily cover everything in this, but generally, like, we don't ever necessarily cover everything in the conversation. Like, we couldn't do that here because there's 4 seasons of a show with a lot going on in it. And it's very, like, this whole show is very largely not about the murders and shit, it's about the relationship between the main characters, which is any show, I guess, in the end. Except for Murder, She Wrote. That lady definitely killed some people.
She got a taste for it.
Blaming it on all those poor innocent murderers.
I can prove it was Mr. Hammers the baker.
I
See,
just-
there's this
so-
evidence that
He
I
did.
found. This other
Because
evidence that
I
I
said
found.
so. Isn't that good enough?
What
Why
are the
isn't good enough for me?
chances- So what are the chances that we're gonna see, like, maybe the last season, they're gonna make one of the main 3 the murderer? Like, what are the chances? And who do you think it'll be?
I think it'll be Oliver, and it'll be like just some stupid ass accident of him like flinging something out a window, and his
Oh, he's
fountain
talking
pen slips out and
boisterously, and he-
pierces somebody's eye.
Throw something and kill somebody by accident.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Mabel. If it's anybody, it's gonna be Mabel. 'Cause she
I
like,
don't
she's
know.
the
I can
most
see
menacing
Home Dude
one.
snapping and Steve Martin. I can see him snapping
Charles, yeah. That's
and
fair.
offing somebody.
He is
Goes to the
extremely
white
uptight.
Like, not intentionally, but, like losing it in the moment and
That's fair.
flipping out.
I mean,
I
I
can
see the
100%
capacity
see it.
for murder in all of them, but who do I vote? Like, if they're gonna make one of the main cast a murderer, I think it's gonna be Mabel. That's my vote. I think we got one vote for everybody here. So, like, Brian voted for Oliver, Fish voted for Charles, and I'm voting for Mabel. I totally
Now-
like Mabel literally describes stabbing somebody to death with her knitting needles. That is why she got in trouble initially for Bunny's death, because I don't think Bunny died only of the stabbing, but she totally got stabbed with knitting needles too. So,
Now, the weird little assistant dude that was taking care of the pig and all that,
yes.
I could see him straight up killing somebody.
Oh,
I could
I think
absolutely.
he's a
definitely
strangler.
see it.
I think he would
Oh, he's-
strangle.
Definitely a strangler, yes. Yes, 100% agree.
I could also see him poison somebody.
I think he'd
His-
want to
his
look him in the
cat
eye.
got, like, the first season, his cat got poisoned. And it ended up all being, that was all the same person, right? It was all Jan, wasn't it? In the end?
I don't know. They made out in the 4th season like Zaz had figured out that it was something else altogether, and like somebody else had been doing
Mhm.
all this other background stuff that was
Yeah.
supposed to tie it all in together, but I don't think they ever did.
Yeah, no, I'll have to go back and check that because they did. Saz noticed that the one note that was left on the door of, was it Oliver's apartment, and his dog, and Oliver's dog got poisoned but didn't die.
Mhm.
And they made it because I think that Jan did admit to poisoning the cat, but she never admitted, like she never denied or confirmed that she poisoned the dog, just the cat. So that's weird. Ooh. Anybody's watching, like even if you're watching after this is over, like comment, because I don't remember. I don't think that they did really fully resolve that because Saz was on to a big old mystery.
Yeah, they didn't. But that gives them something to do in the next season, which is probably what they were setting it up for. The thing that gets me about it is like before we get the twist of like who the stunt man was that Zaz was training that turned on her and everything, like it could have just as easily been Molly Shannon or somebody else. Like I really thought it was going to be her. Because she just kept showing up in places that she wasn't supposed to be, and like having the gun that she had just found and all this stuff. Like there's no way, I don't think, to really like I figured it out, other than just like wait for them to tell you what it is because it's so kooky. And
right,
I want to be able to figure it out. I want to feel smart.
I kind of thought when they were showing her to be crazy, it was too early in the season. I was like, well, she's not it. But in the third season, I found myself actively worrying and hoping that Meryl Streep wasn't the killer because I was like, but I love her and I don't want her to go. I want her to stay and be in the cast some more. So if she's the killer, I'm gonna and then she, by the time we got to the part where she admitted to, or she confessed to the killing, it was pretty obvious. She didn't do it. It wasn't her.
Yeah.
And we found out.
I thought it was going to be her just because that's too big of a star to pull in for a role that's going to continue for too long. Like she's going to have other stuff to do or be too expensive. So I thought, like when you're watching one of those murder shows in the 80s, and they pull in some like former movie star for this episode, you're like, okay, well that's the killer because you didn't, you didn't bring him in for no reason.
Yep.
Can't have Scott Bakula in here twice.
So what were your feelings on the fact that Oliver and Meryl Streep's character got married at the end there?
Means Meryl Streep's gonna die in season 6. Duh. Sorry.
You know what? That would be so cruel to do to Oliver, but also they kind of did it to Charles, and they didn't exactly do it to Mabel. Tim Kono, they had fallen out for a while, but she still cared about him. And then, like, aside from, crazy Oliver and distant Mabel, Saz was Charles's closest friend. So that they kind of did him. They like, again, they did Saz dirty. I was like, don't make her interesting after you kill her. I was so mad about that. Because she was there. She was always there, and she was always interesting and weird. But like, she didn't have any depth to her character. And then they kill her, and then they say, "Oh yeah, by the way, she was a fascinating fucking character, and we killed her, and you're never gonna get to hear anything that she's ever written ever again."
But then also, like, how often does somebody pass, and then we find out all kinds of stuff about their lives that we didn't know? And, find out how much more there was to them than just being, Uncle Bob or whatever. And, I think it's paralleling stuff that does really happen in real life. But also, as a writer, I'm glad that she got that time to shine, even if it was after death. Like, she got that time to become an actual really interesting, fleshed out character that had thoughts and dreams and got to succeed at something almost. But yeah, as a human being, it sucks that she only becomes cool after she dies. But I'm an artist. Nobody's going to care about my books until long after I'm dead.
That's very true. Unfortunately, I wonder if like season the next season 5 here coming up, I wonder if they're going to give Charles, like, because if Saz found that she enjoyed writing, right? Like she had made it clear that she liked writing and that she wanted to do more of it.
Mhm.
And I wonder if we're going to hear about anything else that she's written, because surely that wasn't the only thing she wrote. That script wasn't the only thing she wrote. So
I don't know.
I'm
I
curious
mean,
about that.
it was such a big life change for her to go into doing that. I'm pretty sure I would think that she probably spent a whole lot of time working on just that one thing,
True.
trying to polish it down. I mean,
But I guess they didn't really make it super clear if this was a long-term hobby that she had or if it was a newfound passion, because lots of people turn 60 and then just suddenly fall into a whole new hobby that they absolutely adore. So it's not that weird but it's not that weird that she would have just discovered a love of writing, but I hope that they find something that she wrote besides, like, just because that would be interesting and we could get that little. I'm not happy that they killed Saz, okay? She was my favorite.
You should get a spin-off show.
way to keep
She
her
was a
around.
great character.
Yeah.
Only Saz in the house.
She's so, like, she's just so out there, and like some of the stuff, and she was dating the killer from the first season. Like, come on, that's weird. And she didn't even care that she's a killer. She just dated Jan anyway. Ugh. She's a very interesting character, and I'm sad that she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I guess we're not gonna get any other people to come play the quiz, but we can start it anyway. So, y'all ready? Grab your phones.
Let me pull it back up. All right, I'm ready.
Okay. What does Oliver primarily eat? Holy shit! The things are here and we cannot see. That's not helpful. There we go. Oh, Brian got extra points for being faster.
I don't know how he was faster.
What nickname
Probably
was
'cause I'm
bestowed
high.
upon Mabel in season 2? Did I make this one too easy? I might have made this one too easy.
As many cold pills as I'm on, easy's good.
What is the name of the comic turned TV show that Ben Glenroy starred in?
Oh, that took me a second. All my
Same.
circuits nearly threw me off.
I was
I
trying
was
to
like,
think
That's
of,
Futurama, right?
That's not it. Yeah.
yeah, I was trying to think of other fake TV shows from other series. What show did Mabel watch with her father when she was young? So this one,
Ah, damn it.
Did we both get it
I-
wrong?
I took the easy way.
Uh,
Yeah,
Buddy.
first to being
Stumped us.
wrong.
I was like, somebody got it right. I didn't catch who it was. That was weird.
I didn't.
I think it just highlighted the correct answer.
Oh, okay. Who's Lucy? This one's another tricky one. Not a trick question exactly, but tricky. Lucy's also the one that finds one of the secret passages and alerts them to the existence of said secret passages.
Uh-oh. Look who's in first.
She itching
Oh.
up.
I was.
Closing in. Who is Saz Pataki? Now, if you don't get this one right, I don't even know what to do with you.
Shit, was that the cat?
Oh my god, the cat.
Was that
We should have talked
pig?
about Sevelin. Fucking seriously, Sevelin.
Man, you're like a second faster than me. Like a whole
This
second.
is more about speed than being right. I mean,
Yeah, and I'm reading like a third grader right now.
What instrument does Charles play often in season 1? This one might be a trick question. No, neither of you got it right. Concertina is like a little baby
I knew
accordion.
that. Like,
Yeah.
I saw accordion. I was like, we gotta answer fast. So Prove
Shit,
myself wrong.
It was a little bit of a trick question, I guess, because
I
the
didn't.
accordions and
I didn't even remember him
concertinas are
playing it. I
Oh,
put the
it was like he's
banjo Lena or
flirting.
whatever.
Yeah. What's the name of the eponymous building in which the characters live? You know what I've discovered after I make these quizzes? Other people are coming to Blooket and playing my quizzes.
Oh, cool.
I just noticed that because I was like, we didn't play it that much. That's too many plays.
That's cool.
Who killed Tim Kono?
The
We
cat.
totally talked about this one.
I'm wrong. I don't remember.
Amy Schumer did not kill anybody. I mean, like, not in the show anyway. She might have killed. We can't know that, right? We can't know that. Probably not.
You get that far in Hollywood without killing somebody?
What show did Charles star in during his heyday? That one is kind of an easy one. Yeah.
SNL.
SNL. Oh shit! I should have put that as one. Damn it. It's a little sad without 3 people, isn't it? Aww.
Nobody
Brian's
gets the
won so many
bronze.
stickers since he started co-hosting. He's won many stickers now.
Well, at least I got to play
Primarily
this
why I'm
stuff.
here.
So, parting thoughts on Only Murders? Are we excited for the next season to happen?
Yeah, I am. I was never terribly attached to the doorman, but he didn't deserve it.
Yeah, he was kind of weird. And like, we're
I was
obviously gonna
so
find out
ready
why
for
he's
him to
amazing.
die. Oh, I mean, I'm okay. I really like watching the Martins like roast each other and stuff. Like, I really enjoy their comedy playing off each other, and I like the interactions with Selena Gomez. So I'm down to watch another season.
Mhm.
It's not going to be like, oh my god, it's out today, I'm going to go watch it.
Yeah.
Like I watched the last season specifically to have it done for the show, so I know what was going on. I would have
Sure.
been fine waiting another year to watch it. So
That's fair. That's fair. I am definitely going to watch the next season, but being that the 4th season was easily the weakest season, like they didn't do a ton. Like Brian said, they did none of us were terribly attached to the doorman. We're gonna find out after the fact that he was an amazing human being or something, or maybe it'd be really cool if they're like, he's a fucking disgusting scumbag and he's got like he's got bodies hidden in the basement of the building. You know, like,
I'll bet you
that would be
he's
amazing.
like the owner of the building or something. Like his
Oh my God,
great grandfather was probably, Rockefeller Arconia and made this building, and he owns
Probably
it
right.
and gets all the money from it, and he's just been working as the doorman to get out and meet people, and you find out that he was this hermit. I'll bet you money it's going to be something crazy like that.
Probably. Now that you said that, it makes perfect freaking sense with who he is. Like, just this little old guy, unassuming, a little bit pushy and nosy into people's business, but not like it's more endearing than creepy or frustrating. So yeah,
It's that
probably
hobby
exactly
he picked up when he was 60. He's like, "Meh,
Mhm.
Yeah,
get all up in people's
that's
business."
probably right. And it's, yeah, he's like a secret rich guy. Fucking.
Secret boss.
But seriously, how cool would it be if it turns out that he was just a fucking monster who was like killing everybody that that if you didn't wipe off your shoes before you got into that elevator, dead.
Yeah, he's a serial killer. That's the reason everybody died of black mold or whatever cancer, whatever. He was secretly like poisoning everybody. Or
Oh, he
whatever.
used the secret tunnels and installed cameras in everyone's bathrooms.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
That would
didn't
be
curb
better.
your dog, I see. Ha ha! I'm going to get
Gonna
you.
leak your
Yeah.
nudes.
And we said it here first. So like, if it turns out that he is a serial killer or he is a secret rich guy who owns the building, we get a cut. Like Fish
Mhm.
gets a cut.
That's how that
Like
works.
we get a cut. I'm sure it'll be a worse season than last season. 'Cause
That's
there's
why
a
we
lot of
do these
ideas,
shows,
but-
baby. So,
Pre-spoilers.
7
Like-
lawsuits.
Do you want to give us one more real quick plug for Green Zone? Because y'all should back it because it's a good story, and you got to see what happens to Virgil. You gotta.
Oh, let's see how much voice I've got left. Green Zone is a gritty tale about mutants trying to earn their citizenship back in a world where it's illegal to be born a mutant. If you can make it for 5 years as a civil servant and prove you're not a threat to humanity, you get your green card and you can move out of the ghettos, the green zones, and make a better life for yourself. And issues 1 through 4 follow a group of new recruits on their first shift on the police force as they try and navigate a corrupt law enforcement system and a world that hates them and try and make it to citizenship without actually getting sent to prison themselves. Will they make it? Will they survive? Who will die? Who knows? The whole police station gets blown up halfway through their first shift. So you'll have to buy the books and find out. You can get it digital levels. You can get physical. You can buy catch-up tiers. You can buy just the books you want. You can go back it and just get that copy of Alice Lost in Wonderland that you missed out on and grab that if you want. And we also have an add-on tier where you can delay shipping if you're one of our regular backers or you're overseas or something and delay till the next campaign or the next campaign, and I will ship all your books at one time to save you on shipping. So go check it out. Go MrFish.com. Right there will take you to it. Or type in Green Zone, one word, on Kickstarter, and it'll take you right there.
Thank you so much for coming and telling us about Green Zone and talking about Only Murders.
Absolutely.
And
It's always
Ham.
And Bathroom Ham.
Bathroom Ham.
We should put that on a t-shirt, just Bathroom Ham.
Bathroom Ham.
So and yeah, thanks for Brian coming. Thanks to Brian for coming too. Like thank you to everybody who came and watched. If
Just
you're
came
watching
for the
now
quiz.
live or if you're watching later, you know.
Brian just came for the stickers and the quiz. That's all.
What?
Yeah. Brian's just collecting stickers. Like I'm not even sending them to him. I'm just waiting until we get 10 and then we can punch his card and I'll send him.
There you go.
All right. Everybody have a wonderful rest of your week. Next week we have a show. I don't remember what it is. Holy shit! Is it The Walking
Is it
Dead?
Wicked?
Wicked is next month. It's the first of next month. Not Only Murders. God damn it. We just did Only Murders now. Oh, everybody's busting.
I think Walking Dead's coming
Walking
up.
Dead?
isn't it?
The Walking Dead is definitely one of them. And you know, I could just do this thing where I look it up because I have my computer, like right, it's literally what I'm using, so I could just look it up.
You could.
If it opens, of course. Castlevania! It's Castlevania! We're gonna do Castlevania.
Oh.
Which I am going to watch Castlevania Nocturne because I've already watched all of Castlevania. It got weird. Castlevania original series got weird in the last couple of seasons. Interesting, weird, but weird. And I haven't watched Castlevania Nocturne yet, so I'm gonna do that. And then we're gonna talk about it with Robbie Haas, I think.
Is it worth the watch?
Robbie, what's that?
Is it worth the watch? I got part way into the first season and then I got distracted. And didn't
Yeah,
do that.
same.
The first and second season definitely worth the watch. The third and fourth, you don't have to, but you can. It's interesting, but it's weird in like the adult themed sense, if you know what I mean. It gets a little bit awkward, but also not bad. Like the story's still good, but it's just not as good. Like the first 2 seasons are just perfect. Especially the first season is amazing, but yeah. I definitely recommend it, and I'll let you know next week if Nocturne is worth watching. But I hear it's really good, so hopefully.
Cool.
And in the meantime, everybody, go watch 5 Star Fridays on Friday and Chat and Draw on Wednesday, and there's other shows. Like, just watch all the Agents of Geekdom shows until next Monday when you come back and watch this show again. And have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we'll see you real soon. Bye!
See ya.